All right, and there we go. We are live.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on the YouTube to be live.
Sure.
It should be in a second. Here we go. Jana, thank you so much for joining me. Our good friend Adrian Mundwiler had I don't care what his excuse was. He double booked himself.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you, Nikolai. It's still a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So let's go back a week. How was 24.1 for you? You finished in 6 minutes and 1 second.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty good. I was actually like after watching the live stream, watching Adler and Brent do it, and the girls, I was expecting like to be able to go sub 6 for myself.
Yeah.
Uh, but then ended up having 1 second. It's fair. I actually got one no rep on my attempt. I actually did it 2 times. The first time I was playing around with like stepping up from the burpee, and that
Yeah.
didn't work at all. It was just too slow of a technique. I don't know how Chef made it work so well. But then on the next two, I just jumped the burpees and got one no up that cost me the sub 6 effort. But all in all, there was no chance for beating Colton Mertens anyway. So kudos for him.
we
But yeah, it
actually
was a good workout.
we started by picking you, me and Adrian, to win the workout. I'm gonna have you pick who's gonna win this one once we see it. But then we remembered Cold Mertens, and we are like, yeah, it's a
Yeah,
it's a Cold Mertens workout for sure.
yeah, yeah. I was pretty sure he was gonna take this. I was guessing a boss heart would be good as well.
Yeah,
Colin, he's
yeah.
pretty small and or like short and very fast in gymnastic movements and like body weight stuff. So I think he finished third or fourth on the leaderboard. So
I was very
that's a good
impressed
guess.
with, and I was going to make fun of Adrian on this one because Jelle Hostep beat Adrian, which he
Yeah,
shouldn't be able to do.
what was
Yeah,
Adrian's time?
Adrian was 6:35, and Jelle Hostep was 6:33, and Jelle's
I
like
still I still
he's
think
my
it's pretty
size.
good for Adrian
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, it's good,
as
but
an open workout. Like he's
I'm
never
just more
been.
impressed with Jelle basically.
Yeah, yeah. I think Yella was. Yeah, he was texting me something about being an ant and that being a good thing in this workout. So um,
Uh,
I'm sure there's going to be some rowing and wall balls for the tall guys,
yeah.
maybe on this one or then the last one.
Hey, I looked at the leaderboard. Maybe you know this. I saw Willie George on the leaderboard. That kind of surprised me. Is he
Yeah, I thought
competing?
he was retired. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
maybe
haven't
he's just taking
haven't
over.
seen him. He seems to be in pretty fit shape. Seen
Well,
him squatting like 230 and running 18-minute 5Ks. I mean, he's always
yeah,
been strong and good at running, but still like maintaining that kind of fitness. I think it's worth it to put it to test and just compete.
yeah. We in a minute, 30 minutes, we're gonna see Justin Medeiros compete, the two times fittest man alive. You competed against Justin this summer. You competed against him a few times. Where he took. I'm just have to introduce you. You have been to the CrossFit Games 9 times, and you are the sixth fittest man alive, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Justin Medeiros took 13th at the CrossFit Games, being the reigning champion. What were your thoughts on him? Was he out of shape? Was he injured? What did you pick up when you were at the games?
Well, I guess every year you go into the games, you have like certain people that are, you know, considered as the main rivalries or the favorites to win or podium. And Justin for sure was there. Like he had won the two previous games. So, but then again, it's like it's pretty hard to maintain that kind of level. I think the Fraser era and the Froning era, like people have gotten so much closer to each other. Like the level is more even in that sense. So it's hard to kind of uh, keep winning every year. So I wasn't like surprised that he didn't just beat everyone for the third time in a row. I think it's just good for the sport that there is other champions as well, and that it's getting closer and closer. But I still expected him to be on the podium fight. So maybe he just had a injury or off year that can happen. I've had very bad years as well, and some years have been amazing for really no good reason. So could have just been a bad weekend for him as well.
Yeah. You just said his name. What was Matt Fraser like competing against? Did you feel like there's nothing to do?
Yeah, at least at the games, and
Yeah.
pretty much in any competition. I actually think there's been one competition that I've gave or that I felt that I can actually compete against him. That was Dubai, I think 2016 or 17.
Yeah.
Then I think I beat him in multiple workouts. He still ended up winning the workout, and I ended up being, I think, 5th or 6th due to a very bad final workout. But even then, that was off-season competition, and he said he hadn't been training at all. Yeah. So he was very far from his peak condition, and still he was beating everyone by miles. But still, I think Fraser's he was for sure much better than everyone else in terms of fitness and just being a competitor. But the levels being getting closer and closer, so I don't think it would be so. He would still probably be at the top, but not so easily anymore, I think.
I wanted to. A few people asked me about this, and I think I know the answer because I think you and I talked about it back in 2021. Going into, I want to say, event 5 or 6, did you wear the leaders jersey where you weren't supposed to wear it for the thrusters and wall walks?
Oh, 2021.
Yeah.
Yes, but I wasn't allowed to give it to BK.
Right. So it's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to set the story. So can you explain what happened?
I think I can't remember what was the previous workout prior to the
I'll find
thruster wall.
Yeah, let me just find it here. So it was it doesn't say the where is it? It doesn't say the workouts, which kind of sucks. No, yeah, but you had to do 2 workouts pretty close to each other, and there wasn't enough time to calculate the leaderboard correctly.
Yeah. Was that the clean ladder workout? Probably the 2 clean ladders. Maybe. Yeah. Well, anyways, whichever was it, I sandbagged that event, and I knew that I'm going to drop from the leader's position, but then they didn't have time to upgrade the leaderboard, and usually, they switch the leader jersey before every event, every workout, just to know who's leading. And I think it was supposed to be Björkvin, or Björkvin was leading at that time, and he should have, he earned the leader jersey, and I wanted to obviously give it to BK and just wear my regular Noble kit.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what was the reason. Maybe they just didn't have time to upgrade it, but I had to wear the leader's jersey.
Walking in at least.
Yeah. And then I think BK didn't do well enough to maintain the lead, so then he never got the jersey, which sucks. It's a nice memory still. It's cool, the coolest jersey you can have, except maybe the podium jersey. But
well, it's the yellow jersey of the CrossFit Games, right? So it's a Tour de France reference.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, now we're 1 week in of the Open. What do you think of the first workout? What was your thoughts on that one?
I think it's pretty simple, straightforward, easy movement, very easy access, which is good to, to get as many people as possible joining. It's just a good test. I think, everyone can, almost everyone can do those movements. RX, I think percentage was pretty big who actually RX the workout.
Yeah.
And then it's just who's the fastest at burpees, really. Like the dumbbell snatch didn't really matter that
Not
much.
even
Of course,
not
if
even the
you're
cycling time. Like
well, no, I think dumbbell, like light dumbbell snatch, that's one of those movements where you can put a lot of effort in it and try to make it faster, but
yeah,
over like 21 reps, it might just be 1 second faster compared to if you put much less effort into the movement and actually you're able to breathe and recover.
yeah,
So I found it better to have a little bit more chilled pace on the snatches and then push on the burpees. So then, even if you can win 5 seconds on all of the dumbbell snatches, it's very easy to catch and or lose 5 seconds on the burpees.
right.
So basically 90 burpees for time.
What do you think of the whole 25% progressing to semifinals, quarterfinals? Yeah,
Well, I think even 10 was quite a lot. Like it ends up being quite a lot of people. Now what 300,000 is going to be, almost 100,000, like
yeah.
80,000
So
people.
in Europe, a qualifying time right now is 10 minutes and 41 seconds. That will get you in the 25 percentile.
Yeah. So that's almost 50% slower than the fastest. Or
Yeah,
it is 50% slower
it
than
is
the
50%
fastest. Yeah.
slow. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It just makes it I hope the programming can still be like varied enough or challenging enough so that they don't keep it as simple as the open workouts. I mean, I understand that the open, is kept simple and just like classic, a little bit easier skill movement, so we can have more people do it. But quarterfinals should, you know, be a bit more challenging test to advance the correct people to the semifinals. So I hope they still do that. But I don't really, it doesn't really matter if it's 25% or 10%. For me, I still need to be
no,
top 40. And
yeah.
I don't think that extra 15% is going to make it any harder for me.
No, no one else is going to go to the games. There's not going to be someone who's not
No.
going to, yeah, it's not going to change that outcome. So how do you
Yeah.
approach it? Like, you're going to qualify for quarterfinals. You almost kind of know you're going to qualify for semifinals, and the only maybe is, are you going to make it into the final heat at semifinals? So you want to be in the top 10. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
how do you approach the season? Like, you're obviously not in peak conditioning right now. Probably working more on strength and barbell and stuff like that. But you still, like, let me just look at your score here. So you took 7th in Europe. You took 11th worldwide of former games, and that's the metric I'm using. I'm looking at people who's been to the games before, and you took 11th place, tied with Patrick Vellner and 1 second ahead of Ricky Gerard. So you are conditioning wise where you need to be. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think so. And also strength wise, I've been making progress. It's been my whole career kind of, the thing I need to work on the most, just to keep it at a level that I can compete. I'm never going to be the strongest guy, at the games, and even if I wanted to, I would need to sacrifice so much more on the other stuff that it wouldn't be worth it. So yeah, it's all about just peaking and at the right time and getting the shape, the game shape at the right time. So I'm not too worried about my numbers if they're 5% less than they were last August. Like, it's all about trusting the process. And this time we're doing so much volume, and I've been doing so much volume on stuff that I need to, that it's has to come from somewhere else. So
Are you
maybe yeah,
are you injury
go for it.
free and ready for the season?
Yeah, for sure. It's been one of the best seasons in training. Like, I think I had a bit of bad luck last off season with the rogue injury. I hurt my ankle, and it actually took a little bit longer than I wanted to. But that kind of forced me to withdraw from Dubai, which ended up being a good decision. Right, just for the sake of the ankle, I wanted to get it 100% healed and to be able to focus fully on this season. I've actually been getting one of the best trainings I've had in 10 years, probably because of that decision of sitting out for the off-season competitions
So what
and
is
just staying healthy.
what does training look like right now? You're still working with Jami Tikkanen and the training plan?
Yeah.
And you also work with some barbell specialists, good old Eric?
Yeah. I've been going to a few camps with Eric. We just came from Tenerife like a month ago. We had a elite camp. So Eric's been helping me with my barbell game, and it's already paid dividends. Like I made very good lifts last season, and it's been just getting better and better this year as well. So that's been helpful. And then having Yummy helping me now 2.5 years, it's been really good. I think it was one of the best decisions I've made, like joining the training plan and trusting Yummy. And yeah, I think we're still far from what's my ultimately the best shape I can be. But I think we can get very close to that this season. I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out.
And working with so you also I guess you're kind of competing with BKG and you're under the same training program. What is that like? You got friends and
yeah, absolutely. BK's the best. He's one of my best CrossFit friends with Adrian as well. Like I've known BK since 2014, been to the games with him like every year since except 2018. And already in 2014 or 2015, I actually traveled to the US with the training plan crew and did some training with them. And we've always got along very well. And we're pretty similar athletes in terms of like strengths and weaknesses. BK is a little bit better lifter, and I might be a little bit better in gymnastics. But overall, we're very similar. So it's always good to compare sometimes in some key workouts with BK to know where I am and where he's at. And every time we train together last year before the games, we spent a month in Virginia and with Henrik as well. Was one of the best training camps I've had. Hoping to do that again this year.
Yeah. Let me just see here. What's been your best memory from the CrossFit Games? Like, of you won 4 workouts. Can you remember the 4 workouts?
Yeah, I was actually just memorizing them. Well, the last one was obviously the bike race last year.
Can we just stay there 1 sec? Because you were in a group with Roman Krennikov, Jay Crouch, who else was there? Adler and Yellow Host. And I remember seeing you crossing the line did you do 5 laps? Is that it?
Oh, I can't remember.
I just remember it's the last lap, and you were still in a group, and I just looked at you, and you seemed completely relaxed, just like hands over the handle, which is not allowed in regular cycling actually. And everyone else was just gassed. They were looking like they were having a terrible time. Did you know you were going to win the workout?
Well, I expected myself to win the workout. Say that, like, there's always things that can go wrong. So I think carrying too much confidence can be dangerous as well, especially in a workout like that, like 40-minute workout. Like, there's a lot of tactics involved in group cycling, as you probably know.
Yeah.
So if you're too confident, you can really make it a hard race for yourself. So I just tried to stay calm and stay smart, and make a plan and stick with it.
What was the plan? Because I was shooting the event, so I couldn't really see. I just saw you winning.
Yeah. So my plan was to attack fast on the first corner, just to stay out of trouble, because it's 40 people who probably majority is not familiar being on a bike, especially in a group like that. So I just wanted to be one of the first ones going into the first corner, to stay out of trouble. and then hold a high pace and see who follows, just to get like a small group of good cyclists that we can then run away. And then I was planning to attack right from the beginning of the last lap to break away from the group, but then Roman, who was also in the lead group that we had, he was pulling a quite big stint, and I just figured I'll just draft of him. He was also the best to draft from. He was the biggest guy with the biggest back. Yeah. So I just stick behind him and waited for anyone else to make an attack, and then Jeff did. And then I knew that I can just take the draft of him and ride to the victory. I think I played it pretty smart, that I was pushing the pace every time I was in the front, and then tried to recover when I was drafting from the guys, just to keep the pack alive as well, so that it wouldn't be just like a one pack of 5 guys all the time.
I think some people don't realize how important drafting technique is in racing. Obviously, this was a small pack. You were 6 people, then you were 5 people. But if you go to the Tour de France, right now the bike season just started, and if you're in the middle of a peloton, to ride in the middle of the peloton is not hard. It's hard technically, and because you can crash and stuff, but you can sit in the middle of peloton and you're being sucked in at around 150 watts. That's what you have to push in, like not in the finish. You have to push, obviously, but the guy in the front can be pulling 500, but you only have to push 150. So if you can do it properly, it's just so much to be gained. And it was the same in 2018, where unfortunately you weren't competing. I would have loved to see you against Adrian on a bike. Yeah. So we've yet to see that, because who weren't competing in 17? Did you compete against Ricky Gerard? You too?
Mundi wasn't there. No.
Okay. So let's just take that. Let's do a Adrian, Ricky Gerard, and Adrian Mundwiler, and Jan Koski, of course. You 3. Who's better on a bike?
Well, I'm confident enough to say that I am, but there's only one way to settle that, really. I know Adrian thinks Adrian is, and Ricky thinks Ricky is. So
Dave Castro
need to be a time trial race, or a race where we all 3 at the same time.
Did you compete in the Dubai one where you did a time trial?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you win?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That was the year I was talking about Fraser.
Yeah.
36K time trial. Yeah.
I remember it wasn't televised, that event, and I just looked at Frederick's time, and he was like 5 minutes slower than the second slowest guy. I'm like, what the fuck happened? But apparently his everything, like his bike broke or something. So
yeah,
it wasn't. And that was one event. There's this year you won, and what other events have you won? You're pretty good at swimming.
Yes, all the others have been something to do with swimming.
Yeah, so you won, and I remember one you did win. I was coaching a team in 2016, and it was on you actually only did one event, right, that year?
No, that was.
No, you went to the ranch. You went to the ranch first.
Yeah,
and then you had a Thursday one event, 600-meter swim.
Yeah, 500.
Yeah, who knows, right? Going into, so this was like a straight event for the people watching. I'm drawing like a half a square. Going into an event like that, do you see any competition at all? What about
back in the days when Jordan Troyan was still competing? Yeah, he was a lot better swimmer than I've ever been. He was All-American, he was much better. So he beat me in 1 or 2.
But he wasn't competing that year. So your competition would be Rasmus Andersen from Denmark, Brent Fikowski, Canada, and obviously Cam Porter of Australia.
Yeah. I think in a peer swim, when it's just straightforward swim, Brent he's a good swimmer, but he most of the time breaststroke. Which is completely different to freestyle, and I swam freestyle, and my times back then were, I think we spoke about some record times some years ago, and My PRs were like not significantly, but a little bit better. So yeah, I think in a straightforward swim, unless you're a former swimmer, you can't really compete against a former swimmer.
No,
It's that level of a skill that you can't just, even if, like in my case, I only start swimming like a month before the games. I go once or max 2 times a week to swim 500 meters to 1K, and it just comes back. It never comes back to the level it actually, or it was like 10 years ago, but it,
no, but you're also heavier, I guess. Quite heavy.
yeah, and stiffer, and everything is
Yeah.
a lot harder in the water now. But it's a skill that it's kind of like gymnastics, or if you've played whatever racket sport like tennis, or
Yeah.
like Mundi with ice hockey. We went to play ice hockey some winter in Switzerland, and he's just like, he jumps on the rink, and he's like
Yeah.
he never quit. So it's just some things you never really forget. So.
Let's just go back to your first victory. Wednesday, July 22nd, 2015. Do you remember? It was 500
15. That
meters.
was in Carson. Yeah.
Yeah, 500-meter swim, 2 miles paddle, and 500-meter swim.
Yeah, I remember that. That was actually Con Porter that was racing against. Yeah, he was much better on the paddleboard.
Yeah,
but I drafted. So again, I was smart.
Dumb move, Kyle. And what's the last one? Is that the run, swim, run? No, Brent won that one.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. I'm not looking at the actual workouts. I just want to see if I can find, if I can remember which one it was. So you won in 15. I don't think you won, and you won in 16, obviously. The ocean swim. And what about 17? That's the run, swim, run. You did not win that one. And then let's see if I can find this workout. I'm pretty sure I know it when I see it. Did you? You didn't compete in 18.
No, that's the only year I missed.
Yeah, you're injured there.
I'll give you a tip. There's a very epic picture of this event.
Did you make it all the way to Sunday in 19?
No,
the swim paddle. So you didn't win that one. And obviously in 2020 was the online CrossFit Games. Then we go to 2021. You won the first event in 2021. I was standing next to what was his name? Who just bought CrossFit? Geez, I forgot already. The guy who bought it after Greg Glassman. No, what was his name? Anyways, but I was standing next to the owner of CrossFit, and he was talking about all these Americans is going to win. I'm like, yeah, no, you're wrong. Koski is going to win this one by a lot. The event was
2021 kayak swim now.
Kayak with 1 mile swim with fins, and then you went into a 3 mile kayak, which is kind of weird. Yeah. I think that has to be you and Tia winning those ones were kind of the most dominating wins I can remember. You won by you won by almost 3 minutes, which is probably one of the biggest wins of the CrossFit Games.
Yeah, but it was also a long workout. I think it was one of the longest workouts.
Yes, but I'm just looking it up now. It is officially the biggest win ever at the CrossFit Games. Time March. Yeah, it's bigger than Lucas Esslinger beating Lucas Hochberg on the marathon row. He only beat him by 40 seconds. So
okay, well, that's cool. That's
a cool record. It's not easy to beat.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're gonna go. Gonna wait for the announcements to come. It should come pretty soon. What do you think the workout's gonna be?
I think it's gonna be longer, like an AMRAP, maybe.
Eric Rosa, what's his name? Longer one. Yeah.
Maybe 18 minutes AMRAP. Expecting some maybe wall balls and I don't know, maybe a barbell as well.
I'm just looking to see if
Or a
I'm
rower.
seeing it. It's
Just
kind
to
of a
show
shame
on
that Cole.
already.
It's a kind of a shame that Colt Mertens cut off his mullet. It would be kind of the battle of the mullets.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're in some kind of garage gym.
I think it's the Justin's gym. His
Oh,
home
really?
gym, I think.
Yeah. Do you remember back when BKG did the open announcement in Jacksonville? Or was it Jacksonville? Yeah, I think so. No,
Against
somewhere
Dan
else.
Bailey.
Yeah, it was Dan Bailey.
Yeah.
Something happened though there. It was like did Dan Bailey do too little reps or something like that?
I can't remember.
Someone miscounted the miscounted the workout.
Could
So
be,
a long
that's a long
workout
time ago.
with a barbell, and I'd like to see some sort of. I want to see more. I'm kind of ruling out cleans and deadlifts because it's been the last workout was so posterior. It would be a shame to see that again. You want to see some gymnastics move in, but yeah.
Yeah, probably gymnastics. Yeah, I was even thinking maybe a ladder like we've had, with I think it was bar muscle up, toes to bar, squat snatch.
Yeah.
It was maybe 2017 or something like that. A little bit longer one, AMRAP style, where it gets heavy as well towards the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see there. Do you how do you feel like I know the everyday gym goer is kind of nervous going into the open. Like how do you feel these days? It's just whatever.
I still get nervous for sure. It's
Yeah.
I get nervous for some workouts that Yummy sends me, just like regular workouts. If I know it's going to be, painful, if it's something like if it's a key session or VO2 max session where I need to dig very deep.
Yeah,
I do get nervous sometimes, and I think open is. I get nervous more for that, like knowing that I need to make it heard. Because it also matters. You put yourself on the leaderboard. I know it doesn't matter, like really, in terms of like people who win the open doesn't mean they're going to win the games. But still, it's the first time you actually get to compare yourself against.
I know. Yeah, and people are saying that it doesn't matter. The open doesn't matter. I'm just not buying it. Like at the end of the day, you're all competitors, and you want to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Like maybe you're not doing it 3 times, or like, or you're not tapering for the open, but it's not like the old days. But you're still, when you're going, right?
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, as I said, it's the first chance to actually see where you're at against your competitors, to see if you need to make some changes to your training, because now there's still time before the games. But it's still very different, the actual live competition setting, because there's always these athletes that are just going to be so much better in the open or in the quarterfinals at their home gym compared
All right,
to
let's
the
see what
actual.
happens. All right, one sec. We're just gonna listen to what he's gonna say.
Yeah.
Is that a wrestling guy, Seth Rollins? It's not Dave Castro. This part is going to be really weird on the podcast, though. We're just listening to the open announcement, apparently. Justin Medeiros is not wearing Noble. That's kind of surprising. Would you be able to? He's not. He's wearing a CrossFit shirt. That's kind of weird. Like if you had a sponsor, they like you're wearing what are you wearing now? Gymnation or Strike Movement or okay. Yeah. So Strike Movement is your apparel shoe sponsor, and Gymnation is your apparel sponsor. But they would expect you to wear something like that, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they just said they couldn't. I don't know. Yeah. Justin Medeiros. Now, I remember back in the day when the open was 5 weeks and it was direct qualifier for regionals.
Yeah,
that was so stressful and it was so important. And even though you just had to qualify, like what you were just saying, it's the first time. I remember playing hockey and just like you have the regular season, but going into the playoffs with the momentum and just knowing like, yeah, we beat you 3 times in the regular seasons, and we're about to face you in the playoffs. It has something to say. Like there is,
Yeah.
Here we go. All right, here we go.
4.2 is a 300-meter row.
300-meter row.
10 deadlifts.
10 deadlifts.
At 185 pounds.
185 pounds, 84 kilos.
50 double unders.
50 double unders.
And it is as many reps as possible.
As many reps as possible.
In 20 minutes.
Jonna, I'm gonna do this workout and I'm gonna try and beat you. No, your double unders is too fast. So
it's a lot of hinging. Again,
there's a lot of hinging. This is interesting.
It's actually a good fight against Colton and Justin. I think Justin is probably a lot better in rowing.
Yeah.
But Colton is just gonna smash those deadlifts like
so
it's nothing.
We're just gonna repeat the workout here. So it's a 20-minute AMRAP. Yannick Koski was dead on the on the length of the workout. It's a 300-meter row, and it's 10 deadlifts at 185. That's about 84 kilos, right? For men, and 125, which would be around 55 kilos for women. So it's fast and unbroken deadlifts. It's 30 minutes, and then you do 50 double unders, and you just keep doing that until it says time.
Yes.
What's your first thoughts?
Yeah, it's long. It's a lot of hinging. I'm just trying to calculate how much one round is going to take approximately.
Let's do it together.
Row, that's like, let's just say 1 minute ish.
Yeah, that's for guys like you and me, it's going to be 1 minute. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 minute and 10 deadlifts.
We have pretty similar row times for the people out there. Yeah.
It's 20 seconds.
7-second transition, maybe, because you're not going to rush the transition, right?
I think you are on this one.
Are you? Yeah, you might probably will. The elite
and
will.
Then 50 doubles, because the double unders, that's like a recovery movement for the elite.
20 minutes. Let's add in. What do you want to say? Half a mistake per round. So like every other round, you make one mistake.
I think it's still going to be like 11, 12, maybe 12 rounds.
We're going to get to how you want to approach it. Well, let's just pick one. You said you're going to go with Colton Mertens on this one? You pick first. I only have one pick when you're done.
No, I got to choose the champ, Justin.
All right.
Take this.
Well, I apparently pick Colton Mertens.
Yeah, he already won one. He can't have all of them.
The guy who didn't show up for the podcast today, Adrian. Adrian versus Yannick Koski. Who's going to win? And why? Well, you're going to pick yourself, but why? Why are you going to beat Adrian?
Oh, well, I think Adrian's never really done very well in the Open, so I think that's the first argument. I don't think he puts a lot of effort to it. So, but
all right. So
Adrian's strong on the row.
Yeah,
double unders don't really matter. He's good on
enough of the elite.
Well. So I actually think, like strength and weaknesses wise, it would be pretty like even workout for me and Adrian.
So you got to pick first on the on who's going to win tonight. I get to pick first who's going to win the workout. And when I say win, of games athletes, former games athletes, who's going to take first place, men and female. I'm going to go first on the men, and you get to go. You get to go first on the women. And I am going to go to our Canadian friend, Patrick Vellner, winning of the games athletes.
It's a good choice.
Who do you have? I have another one. Yeah, I'll stick to Vellner.
Actually, I think if Annie wasn't pregnant at the time, she would crush this one.
Yeah.
deadlift.
Who do you got for the men?
For the men. Oh,
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
Hmm. I think Chandler Smith is gonna.
Yeah. But then again, how hard is he competing? He's going team, so that's.
Well, he crushed the last one.
That's true.
It's like
I think
540,
Chandler only has one
93.
gear, right? He goes
Yeah.
goes crazy, or yeah. All right, women, you get to go first. I feel like that's pretty straightforward. It's a lot of grip. It's a lot of rolling.
Yeah. I think Laura will.
If she's in shape, yes.
She's in shape. I also think Karen Freyova.
Yeah, that's a good
She's
point.
Very well.
Karen Frey is a good choice.
She's very strong on the row. So.
Yeah. I don't think the deadlift will matter because it's. I'm actually looking for. It's hard because shorter athletes are going to have a advantage of like the short cycle time, but I'm looking at like mid-range height type thing. But yeah, that's a pretty good. Well, I have to pick one. I have to pick someone to beat Laura Horvath on this workout. Fuck. Well, I'll I can't go Karen Farova because you basically gave that to me. I will. I'll go with Gabriela Migawa. She has a strong deadlift and she's a great rower. So,
yeah.
All right, we're just going to watch one round. We're not going to watch the full 20 minutes, people. I'm sorry. Jana, what's going to be your advice for people, the everyday gym goer? Like, what do they have to do? How would you warm up for this workout? And how would you strategize going into this workout? Because obviously they can't do what you're doing.
Yeah. So warm up, obviously posterior chain, you want to make sure you're warmed up. Stretch your hamstrings back properly. It's a lot of hinging, so just make sure you're comfortably open to sit on the rower and do the deadlifts, and then open up the lungs. Even if it's 20 minutes, you still want to open up the lungs properly before you start.
Yeah.
And it's just steady pacing. I think the closer you can have like the average times per round, the better. So don't start too fast on the first row. I think towards the end, the rowing pace is gonna just slow down and get closer to like a threshold, threshold pace. So you're not really gonna win a lot of time on 300 meters row.
So what kind? Let's row pace. That's going to be obviously. I don't want you to say a number, but where would you be? Are we looking at our 2K pace, our 5K pace? What kind of pace are we looking at?
I think it's closer to 5K pace. 20-minute time domain. It's close to like 5K time domain.
Yeah.
But then again, the deadlift, because it's still light-ish, even for everyday gym goer, it's still crazy heavy. So it's not going to tax too much from the row. So I would still say 5K pace, especially if you're good on the double unders and you can catch your breath.
I would say, without knowing exactly what that pace is, I would say whatever pace slows your heart rate down, whatever that is, that's your pace. You need to. So Justin's pulling a 142. I think I don't see him doing that the whole time. I slowed down a little bit. Two things I want to say. Be aggressive on getting started. So that means when you pull on the rower, just get it going. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect technique in the beginning. That's how the Concept 2 machine works. Just start pulling and do like a double pull in the beginning. That actually saves time, and the machine starts as soon as you start pulling. So don't do one long pull to get started. Get one foot in and grab the handle. The same on a deadlift. Just go straight to the bar, commit to it. Maybe you don't do a perfect setup on your back for the first rep, but then figure out your back. Just go to the bar and commit to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just like we saw Justin right now.
especially, the longer the workout, the more the small things are going to matter, like the
Yeah.
way you position the rope. You want to have the rope ready to go right away. As you step onto the rope, you want to have the handles so that you can easily pick it up and start the first double under. And same thing when you finish the set, leave the rope, or don't just drop it and throw it around so that you need to spend another 5 seconds grabbing it. Always leave it in a good place.
Yeah.
And as you said on the rower, just get on the rower. You don't want to spend 5 seconds on setting it up, because then you need to row 5 seconds faster. Just get it going. Fast transitions.
What about your tying in your shoes, your feet? Like, I would just keep it loose, so you don't touch the straps, right?
No, just have the straps like loose enough so you can just get in, and so there's not too loose that it actually makes you like slower.
Yeah.
But that was around 148 for first round. It's probably going to slow down like 5 seconds ish.
Yeah.
And halfway, but I'm expecting them to maintain this.
So another thing, they're both going shirtless. That could be a sponsor thing, right? Like, there could be, you have to wear it and then you're taking off your shirt because you don't want to wear another brand. But
for the announcement,
yeah, right now they're going shirtless.
Yeah, it could be.
So Medeiros is wearing wristbands, which I like to soak up some of the sweat coming down, because once you get sweaty and you don't want to be chalking up a lot during the workout. If you do, find a position for some chalk, just like between the row and the deadlift. You can kind of just touch it, so you don't actually stop and chalk. And look at the way Justin is just committing to the first rep and then keep going. Yeah. So one more thing I was thinking about.
I wonder if there's a setup that we need to have, like a floor plan, because
I did not see that last week though.
Yeah, because if there's not, then you really want to think about the best way to set up the deadlift bar and the jump rope, so that you need to do as little, walking over the bar and walking to the bar and to the rope. So you want to have like a triangle shape.
Yeah, triangle, right? Yeah. I see both guys wearing tape around the thumbs. Is that because they're doing double overhand deadlift? Because if I'm doing mixed grip, I don't really need tape on my thumbs.
Well, like myself as well, I just like to wear the thumb tape. I think it helps for the jump rope as well. If you get sweaty, you can just grip from the jump rope better. And a lot of people aren't familiar rowing on paces. A lot of people rowing on calories these days. But yeah, it seems like Justin's slightly ahead. And do you think a guy like Justin, he feels like he has something to prove? Back on the open announcement, 13th place last year. Like, he feels like, does he have something to prove? Even if he'd never admit it. Takes the pressure like that way. Probably he can, but if he's smart, he's just looking at it as a new season to maybe win again. I'm sure he competes to win, no matter even if he won before or not. So I don't know. He looks like he's on a mission now. So it certainly looks like it. Well, just look at the difference. Like, Colton does almost 2 deadlift in the time Justin does 1. So he always catches up by like 4 reps. That was the first mistake on double unders, and that was basically it, right? Now he made a mistake as well. So it's they're tied on that. Any other things people need to be aware of for what if they have like let's say a max deadlift of 160, 170, then doing 8 rounds of 10 reps at 84 kilos would you break them up? Yeah, I think if it was like significantly heavier, I think deadlift is one of those movements that is actually you and me, let's say it's 120. 120, I think I would still probably go. I'm broken. I would just slow down the rowing a little bit. Yeah. If it was like 140 or 150, I might start breaking into 2 sets. Because deadlift is very fast to have a break. Just drop the bar,
3,
count
2,
to 1 or
yeah.
1, 2, and then
Yeah.
you go again. And that's just breaking the tension up a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially if you start feeling your grip going, that's going to make the double under harder. So then it might be worth it to break the deadlift into 2 sets so that you can save your grip and be able to do the double unders unbroken.
I know your coach Yami is very big on breathing. Can you just talk me through breathing cadence on the rowing? How should people breathe? How should they calm themselves down?
I think that's something that you would need to like practice every time you row to get like a natural breathing rhythm on the rower. But yeah, it can help, especially the longer you go, like 10 minutes, you're probably starting to hit very close to your max heart rate. So the rowing is where, for me, it's going to be the double unders where I really focus on the breathing and try to get the heart rate down.
Yeah.
But if you're not so good at double unders that you can recover in them, then you want to use the rowing as a way to calm down your breathing. So it's just about taking big breaths while you're recovering from the movement. No.
Yeah.
Yes, and then like not hyperventilate. So you don't want to have too high of a cadence on the rower so that you can keep natural breathing rhythm. So maybe like 26 to 28 strokes per minute. Justin is holding like 30, 31.
Yeah.
But then again, he's an elite. He can also catch his breath on the double unders. So.
Right. Well, let's see what's going to happen. Jan, I want to thank you so much for. When are you going to do the? When are you going to do the workout?
I'll do it on Saturday. We actually have a showdown in CrossFit Härkä here in Finland. Me and Henrik Haapalainen and Ludwig Hansson, we're going to go head to head.
Oh, nice.
In like a showdown manner. So it's a good workout because we're all pretty even on rower. And deadlift, Henrik is probably the best at deadlift, and double unders is just anyone's game really. So I think it's a cool workout to go head to head.
Well, looking forward to see what you get. All right, Jana, thank you so much for coming on the show, and
thank you.
Have a great evening.
Yeah, thank you, Nikolai. You too. Cheers.
Yes.